Jerry's friends were talking about their courses: philosophy, math AAHL, physics HL, econ. Jerry becomes overwhelmed when he hears all the different options he can take. In his confusion, he just takes what his parents tell him to, or what his friends are taking: math and physics and chemistry HL. The Holy Trinity. By the end, he's burnt out, has no idea what the point of life is, and cries in 45-minute intervals. He reaches the end of his IB program without any soul. Bjorn had considered all of his options for the IB, knowing full well that he wanted to get into medicine at Johns Hopkins. So with that, he does his research, asks his seniors, and consults his teachers during freshman year on what courses he should take. Eventually, he decides on the courses, even as far to dare himself to have 4 HLs. Despite the difficulty and challenge that he embraces, he understands the purpose behind those challenging courses. In the end, Bjorn got to where he wanted to be because he made the right choices, ultimately getting that perfect 45 into his dream university. Hello everybody, my name is Joaquin Ravello. I'm a current UPenn Wharton dual degree engineering student, and I got a perfect 45 in the IB. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about likely one of the most requested topics that I get, both on my channel and in my emails and in my training academy, all about how to choose your IB courses correctly. All right. First of all, if you don't know what the IB is and how it's structured with 3 HLs and 3 SLs, I strongly suggest you first watch the video on IB for beginners, which you can check out hopefully in the I right here. But as a quick recap, you need to choose 3 HLs and 3 SLs. Sometimes you might be able to choose 4, but normally it's 3 and 3. And the topics fall into the following categories: 1, language and acquisition; 1, studies in language and literature; individuals and society; sciences, maths, and the arts. So which courses are you going to be taking? The fact that you're watching this video right now already tells me that you're an ambitious, high achieving student, because the majority of students don't end up watching these videos, but they go into it blind and they don't end up knowing which courses to pick, and then they end up choosing something different. So in this video, I'm going to outline exactly how I went across choosing it, and hopefully to help you as well. So throughout this video, I'm going to be revealing what I like to call Easter eggs, which are small little codes that you put into a link in the description down below, and you get a lot of free and fun and valuable resources. So the way that I approached choosing my IB courses is to always start at the end. In fact, one of the greatest determiners towards success is clarity. Clearly identifying what your goal is, where you want to become, and ultimately what you want to achieve. And one of the best ways that I like to view high achievement is that you don't necessarily achieve to get the stuff, right? You don't achieve for the achievement's sake. Instead, you achieve to become the type of person who can achieve that type of stuff. For example, if I was to give you a perfect 45 right now, like just give it to you straight up, it probably wouldn't mean much. However, if you were to put in the work, put in the hours, become the type of person who achieves the 45, you build that discipline, you build that character, and then you end up getting that perfect 45, that will become much more valuable for you. So in other words, I want you to gain clarity, not only on the achievements that you want to get, but also on the type of person you want to become. And this all starts by looking at the end, looking at what I like to call your ideal lifestyle. Meaning, if you were to project yourself, let's say 10, 15, 20, 30 years into the future, what type of lifestyle do you want to be living? What would be your ideal lifestyle, your dream lifestyle? And when I say dream lifestyle, most people here get confused, okay? They think about margaritas on beaches, or they think about Lamborghinis, or they think about traveling the world. That is not what I mean by your lifestyle. What I mean by your lifestyle is literally what are you going to be doing on the day-to-day? What do your daily tasks look like? What do your friends do? What type of stuff do you talk about? What type of stuff do you think about? What are you trying to achieve? What type of goals are you taking out? Understand that achieving your goals, being a high achiever, reaching your potential, getting things done, that's always going to be part of you as life. The minute that's not is the minute you're dead. In fact, I remember reading somewhere that a lot of high achievers, meaning people who are already ambitious, people who want to achieve extraordinary things in their life, who want to keep working, the minute they retire, they typically have just a few months until they die. And the reason why that's the case is because achievement fills our void. Achievement gives you purpose. Achievement gives you a destiny to strive towards. And the fact that you're on this video right now shows me that you're that type of person. So when I say ideal lifestyle, I want you to be thinking about a practical lifestyle that includes achievement, that includes struggle. Like your ideal lifestyle can include struggle, struggling towards the things that you want to become, struggling towards the things you want to do, struggling towards the things you want to achieve. Struggle is just a universal in basically everyone's life. So understanding what type of struggle you want to go to is essential for building your ideal lifestyle. And then of course the big one is career, right? What type of career do you want to live? How often do you want to work? What do you want to work on? What does your salary want to pay? The more clear you can become on these fundamental logistical questions on the type of lifestyle that would bring you the most joy and the people around you the most joy, the better you can orient yourself towards the life that you want to live. And then when you have that as crystal clear as possible, and frankly, it might take a while for you to develop that type of lifestyle. But as a side note, the way that I did this is I literally just sat down. I went on a meditation retreat. As you know, I love meditation, I love mindfulness. I went on a meditation retreat and I sat down and I just simply thought about and brainstormed what my ideal lifestyle would look like. And I tend to do this every 3 months or so, every 4 months. I just did it over the summer and I clearly identify exactly the type of person I want to become. And then when that happens, I have a very clear vision as to the type of person I want to become in the future. So from there, as the end goal, the clarity point of the type of lifestyle I want to achieve, the type of person I want to become, I can then slowly start moving backwards. I can ask myself, okay, if this is the lifestyle I want to become, what type of job do I need to have? What type of career, what type of achievement, what type of people do I need to be around? And then before that comes, what type of education do I need? Do I even need an education? Do I need to go to university? I strongly suggest that going to a very good, selective, high-achieving university, such as Ivy Leagues, such as Oxford, Cambridge, all of these selective schools, not only does that give you excellent education, but also gives you an excellent environment, right? And we talk about a lot in this channel and just Grizzly in general, how the environment is one of the most important aspects towards determining your success. Because if you have an environment that pushes you up, you're much more likely to be pushed up with it compared to an environment that pushes you down. So think about your university, right? What type of university do you want to go to when it comes to achieving that ideal lifestyle? And then once you can identify that, once you identify exactly what university, what type of program, what type of people you want to be around, what you want to be achieving, the IB grades, the IB courses for you to take become so incredibly easy to choose. They almost just pop up right in front of you. All right. So instead of trying to choose your IB courses based on your passion, which is what most people do, or on something that they're interested in, scrap that all together, identify what your ideal lifestyle is, because that's ultimately what's going to allow you to live a lifestyle of joy, a lifestyle of happiness, and then backtrack from that. Now, there's a few important things to know about this, and I get some objections about this all the time. Number one, the first objection I get is that I'm too young. How do I know what my ideal lifestyle is? Exactly, you don't, all right? Now, let me put this as a caveat. Most of the things that you're going to want right now are likely going to change. And that's okay, that's just life, all right? You start in one path, then you realize you like something else, and then you try something else out, and then you just end up going, okay? And then you end up choosing one thing, and then you end up going to another, and then you end up somewhere completely different, okay? So that's just life, which is why I strongly suggest you reevaluate yourself every 3 to 4 months. However, when it comes to IB specific courses, having a general idea as to the type of lifestyle you want to live allows you to pick courses. All right, for example, I always knew I wanted to have an entrepreneurial type of lifestyle, entrepreneurial tech type of lifestyle. That's always my dream lifestyle. So tech and entrepreneurship, there really aren't that many courses in the IB to choose that follow under that suit, okay? The ones that I chose was Math HL, Math AAHL, Math Physics HL, and Economics HL. So those were pretty obvious choices. Now, some people might object. How about Business HL? How about Computer Science HL? Well, that's where we get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty of what does your program require. So I want you to look at what your dream university will be. That will then get you into this dream lifestyle. And ask yourself, what exactly would help me get into the university the most? For me, I found that Computer Science, that I can simply take that as an AP course. And by the way, I didn't end up doing that because I found that you can actually waive that credit because everyone needs to take a course known as 120 in UPenn. So long story short, I actually didn't need to take that, so I could just study computer science on my own, which is exactly what I did without needing to have the AP. But regardless, it was an option. And then the other alternative was economics or business. I found, based on my experience speaking to people who took business, economics is the best way to get into university, all right? Just because more universities accept it as a legitimate subject compared to business. All right, and that's really it. That's as far as I got when it came to choosing my courses. And I think that sometimes not overcomplicating this, meaning just keeping it simple, trying to understand exactly what it is you want, where you want to end up, what university, is one of the best things you can do. Trying to come up with some like obscure algorithm as to, hey, I can do this, but like the courses and the points and that type of stuff, not really. Although I would say that choosing courses that are more challenging if you want to get into a select university definitely does help, right? Because a 45 with Math HL, Physics HL, Chemistry HL is completely different than a 45 with a bunch of easy courses like, I don't know, ESS HL, Geography HL, and Art HL, okay? Those two are very different combinations, and they're a very different 45 in terms of rigor. So really consider that. And this is also why I suggest you start thinking about this as soon as possible, right? If you can even start in grade 8 or grade 9 with your freshman year, start then. Okay, when I was in grade 9, I did this exercise about my ideal lifestyle, and I knew exactly that I wanted to get into entrepreneurship, okay? So I started aligning all of my extracurriculars, all of my goals, all of everything I was going to do in the next 4 years, and I started pointing it towards that direction. That way, by the time I got to grade 12, I already had a stacked list of extracurriculars that corresponded to my University of MNT, which is the program I'm in right now with engineering and business. And congratulations, you just found yourself an Easter egg. This Easter egg is called #Grizzly49. All right, all capital letters. So #Grizzly, all capital letters, no space, 49. Type that into the link in the description down below and get your Easter egg. All right, so a few common mistakes when it comes to choosing your courses. Okay, number one, you try to find something that you're passionate about. Okay, one of the biggest myths about passion is that you need to somehow find your passion. This is complete BS. There's some research that shows that absolutely anything you do can somehow become your passion. Why is that? It's because when you develop competence in an area and you show that you're actually good at it and you can prove that to yourself, you actually start to like it much more. So a lot of different avenues that you didn't know you were passionate about can somehow become your passion. All right, look at Steve Jobs. It wasn't completely clear that Steve Jobs was actually into computers and into software, but that actually turned out not to be the case. In fact, he ended up stating that he was very passionate about it, despite not being necessarily passionate about it at the beginning. So don't necessarily choose on your passion. You'll discover it along the way by doing things that you find interesting. Okay, but that's not the same as passion. Okay, most people say, I'm going to find my passion, I'm going to do this course, hopefully I'll become passionate. Doesn't work like that. Number two, understand that with passion, I would focus on doing useful things. Okay, and the reason why I would focus on doing useful things is because you need to understand how the world works. The world works by rewarding what is valuable. If you're doing something, even if you're good at it, but it's not valuable towards the market, you're not going to be rewarded financially because of it. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't, by all means, abandon all your passions? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, as a long-term career solution, it's likely not the best way because the market rewards those things that are of value. The next mistake I see people make all the time is choosing a course because of their friends. All right, don't do this at all. It's hopefully pretty clear. Don't take an IB course, which is a 2-year course, just because you want to be around your friends. That is a bad decision. And again, it should be pretty obvious why this is a terrible decision, because the IB is going to be 2 years and it actually has a pretty large impact onto the university you get into. And the university you get into has a pretty large impact into shaping yourself, the person you're going to become for the rest of your life. So it is somewhat important to make sure you choose the right courses. And at the end of the day, what are you sacrificing by not with your friends in that course? You're basically sacrificing an hour and a half with your high school friend. That, again, I always talk about being in a state of flow versus in a state of recovery. All right. When you're with your friends, that's something fun. That falls more into the recovery strategy than into a state of flow, a state of sprinting, right? State of doing work. When you're in class, you should be in a state of flow. You should be completely focused, doing work, focused on what the professor is talking about, not speaking with your friends or trying to have a good time. All right. So save all the good time for hanging out with your friends after, during lunch, during recess, during all that type of stuff. But when you're in class, I strongly suggest you just focus on one thing and you'll see that you are able to get so much more done with less stress and with more time. All right. Number 4 is choosing courses just to impress people, just because they're hard. Again, this just comes back down to choosing courses that are of value to you. However, with that being said, if you want to get into a top university, taking challenging courses can actually be the good move, but you need to understand that that is the end goal. If you're trying to get into a top university, everything else needs to also be perfect, including your extracurriculars, including your essays, and including everything else. I've seen a lot of students who try to take the IB, they take some very difficult courses, despite not having a good set of extracurriculars, okay? You're just setting yourself up for failure, so don't do that. So overall, I strongly suggest you spend maybe 20-30 minutes going through this exercise of identifying your dream and ideal lifestyle. And one of the best ways to do this is literally to ask yourself, okay, what type of person do I want to become? If you were to spend minutes writing out exactly what type of person you can become, your attributes, your skill sets, how you would talk, how you would walk, how you would act, how other people would think about you. If you were to spend 10 minutes writing that down, and then you were to spend 10 minutes describing what action points you need to take in order to become that type of person, those 10 minutes and those 20 minutes overall will become extraordinarily useful in identifying exactly the ideal lifestyle that is conducive to becoming that type of person. So I strongly suggest you do it. And I strongly suggest you do that every 3 to 4 months. So all we're talking about here is literally 20 to 30 minutes every 3 to 4 months to clearly identify the target, right? The clarity, the type of person, the type of lifestyle you want to live. And then from that, you can backtrack and ask yourself, what type of university do I need to get into to live and achieve that ideal lifestyle? And then most importantly, when it comes to living that ideal lifestyle, think about value. Do something valuable to the market. So that's what makes you rewarded financially. And then once you've done something valuable to the market, that's when you can more start to identify and insert more of those passions that you may have. But overall, I strongly suggest you start doing something that is valuable to the market first. And then after that, you can start to insert your passions into your lifestyle, into your dream lifestyle if you want to. But don't do it the other way around. And congratulations, you just found yourself another Easter egg. This one is called How to Make Your Study Time 6.5 million% more productive. Check this one out. Grizzly Roar 28 with capital G and capital R, no spaces. Grizzly Roar 28 as one word. Type that in, grizzly.com/Easter egg. Put that into the link down below. Get your resources. I hope you find it valuable. And I hope you also found this video valuable, or if you didn't, let me know down below. I'm more than happy to help. I'm more than happy to improve my content because I want to help you succeed in the IB. Again, you can also send me an email at joaquinr@wharton.upenn.edu or shoot me a message at Instagram. And until next time, stay grizzly. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.